to cut the clock so they don't have to play against this patient, methodical half-court offense that the Tribe are capable of running.
We had a 12-0 William and Mary run answered by that 7-0 JMU run until Rustoven in his favorite spot quiets that.
Great call out of the timeout, I think, by Tony Shaver. Last few possessions, the Tribe took a lot of jump shots. He said, you know what, let's go inside, let's go to Rustoven, let's give him a touch on the block.
That was a quick release three that may have been a little too quick for Devon Moore, but if it goes in, Ron.
When Devon pulled up, I'm sitting here shaking my head like, no, and he nailed it. As a coach, you say, no, great shot, Devon. But that's the shot that I was saying early on. They have to be careful that they don't fall in love with that quick jump shot.
After starting 2 of 10 from the field, they're 9 of their last 11 and 5 of 5 from 3. And here they come again. Moore kicks to the corner. That is Charles Cook. Can't get it into the hands of Thornton, who pushes the pace. Rustoven again, but we're going to get an offensive foul on Kyle Gaylord as he passed to Rustoven. So frantic action as we come down to 3:38 to go in the first half. Folks, we're tied at 27. Tied at 27 with 3:38 to go in the first half. The last of our 3 quarterfinal games of the CAA men's basketball tournament, and it's a rematch of what happened last Saturday night in Williamsburg, Virginia, where Marcus Thornton went off. He had 19 first half points, but finished the game with 20. And A.J. Davis for James Madison comes alive, a career-high 36 points, and it's the Dukes that beat the Tribe 69-67 as we see the season series. A 19-point deficit JMU rallied from Ron Thompson, and this is despite the fact that William and Mary shot 60% from the field last Saturday. But a whole new ball game tonight, and we are dead even with 3:25 to go.
JMU, they've gone small. You see Diouf, number 5, is their tallest ball player on the ball club. He's really like a small forward, and he's playing the 5 with A.J. Davis, who would be their 4-man.
And still no Rashawn Goins as they've gone small. 4 to shoot. Curry will, and got it. That was a good look, not a bailout shot as they ran offensively and Curry spun to the right spot.
Essentially, JMU, they're playing with 4 guards and 1 small forward. A lot of defensive dexterity, a lot of flexibility. They should be able to put a lot of pressure on the ball.
Rustoven trying to take advantage of the size matchup against Diouf, but they can't get it into him yet.
See, because of the lineup, they can switch all ball screens and all crosses. As you see, whenever you see a screen for the ball, they're just going to switch.
And a backdoor look, a perfect feed. Matt Rum finds Marcus Thornton.
Oh, that's what happens. You know, Thornton hits a few jump shots, they lull you to sleep, and he cuts back door for the wide open layup.
9 points now for the sophomore Marcus Thornton. And even though Rum has been quiet in terms of points scored, he's made a few nice entry passes and backdoor look passes for this offense. Davis guns away, back of the iron, and here's Rum. Had it stripped away, Devon Moore comes up with it. The slashing Davis, he'll finish with the finger roll. A.J. Davis again on fire. He's got 12. And a whistle from Sean Cassidy. He's going to get freshman Curry with the foul.
Take a look at Davis. He catches the ball on the wing. When he gets the ball, he's constantly in attack mode. You don't have to wonder what he's thinking. You don't have to wonder where his mind is. He's trying to get to the basket or get a shot up.
You know, Ron, sitting here at this angle, we see Devon Moore flash right in front of us and throw a high, hard pass. That's a tough catch and finish in stride the way A.J. Davis made it look easy.
It was, but credit Devon Moore for knowing who he was throwing the ball to. And when you're quarterbacking a ball club, you have to know who your receivers are, and he knew that Davis would catch that ball and finish it. Certain players, Al, you can throw certain passes to, and it's up to the passer to know who his receivers are.
So Britt now with the opportunity to tie this game up. Make that 12 points now for Brandon Britt, who's been on fire in this first half. He is a scorer, averages 13.8 per game, and is a good deep shooter, but not particularly talented at the line, just at 67%, but looked very strong there. As with now under 90 seconds to play first half, we're back to another tie. Davis looking to change that, and will, with an extra shot coming.
He's got it going, Al. He really does, and he's had it going in the last 3 games or so. He's so strong. You know, he beat his man, but the help came. But he just rose up over him right there. You see, he beats his man on the wing. You see that the double team, the help come, but he raises off the dribble and converts it. Scorers can score, and that's what Davis is. He's not a shooter. He's a scorer.
And Ron, from my point of view, it doesn't look like he's been a ball hog. He looks like he's just taking advantage of what has been there and knowing what he can do.
And that has been a difference between the latter part of the season and early on. Early on, he was forcing a lot of shots. He wasn't allowing the offense to work for him. He was pressing the issue. Now he's letting it come to him, and you're seeing his natural offensive ability within the offense.
They feed inside to Rusthoven. He's fouled. And he'll get some shots out of this. So Devon Moore will pick up the foul. That's his second. And the Dukes now with 19 fouls. Rusthoven, though, was fouled in the act of shooting, so he will get his 2. Rusthoven misses both. Battle for the loose ball, and Diouf comes up with it. As we have now a minute to go in a very entertaining first half of quarterfinal game number 3 from the CAA Men's Basketball Tournament presented by Janney King. A catch and shoot for Curry. There's Thornton high for that board. Terry Tarpey, the freshman wearing number 25 for William & Mary, getting a lot of first half time. Julian Boatner also in the game. Rusthoven surrounded and finds Tarpey.
Great patience by Rusthoven in the double team that time, and Tarpey cut and moved without the ball. What happens? They threw it in the post, and all the JMU defenders out turned and looked at the ball. Tarpey cut back door, and Rusthoven hit him for an easy layup.
A whistle and a turnover. gives William & Mary the basketball with 4.5 seconds left.
You see the screen and roll. Diouf sets the screen, but when he rolled, the official thought he took Thornton right with him, and he calls a foul. Great call that time by the official. Diouf was trying to get out of the way, but couldn't really get there fast enough.
So Devon Moore will sit these final 4.5 seconds. Rusthoven trying to beat the buzzer, and that is how the first half ends. It's JMU behind 15 points from A.J. Davis with a 1-point lead over Tim Rusthoven and William & Mary, 34-33. Standing by right now with Matt Brady, the head coach at JMU, is our Brent Harris.
All right, thank you very much, Al. 1-point lead. What did you like out of your team in the first half?
Well, we got down, but we kept fighting. I thought that we gave up too many easy shots at the rim. We gave up 3 offensive rebounds for baskets, and then we gave up a couple of baskets to Thornton where we weren't ready to guard him. So we've got to do a better job on Thornton. We've got to do a better job on the defensive glass.
A lot of energy out of A.J. Davis. Pretty nice first half. You got to be pleased about that.
Yeah, his shot selection has come a long way here in the last couple months. His defense has gotten better. He gave up a layup there at the end where he didn't identify the weak side. We need A.J. to play at both ends, and we need everybody on our team to rebound a little bit better.
All right, Coach Brady, best of luck in the second half. Back to you, Al.
Brent, thank you very much. We thank Matt Brady. Brent will try and get a word in with Tony Shaver before the start of the second half on the William & Mary bench. A.J. Davis with 15 points. Marcus Thornton has been hot as well. And William & Mary trailing the Dukes by 1. We start our halftime here.
Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum in the CAA basketball tournament. The Colonial Athletic Association would like to acknowledge this year's Dean Ellers Leadership Award recipient, who was honored last night at the Championship Awards banquet. This award is given in recognition of the longtime James Madison University Athletic Director's contributions to intercollegiate athletics. Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum in the CAA basketball tournament. The Colonial Athletic Association would like to acknowledge this year's Dean Ellers Leadership Award recipient, who was honored last night at the Championship Awards banquet. This award is given in recognition of the longtime James Madison University Athletic Director's contributions to intercollegiate athletics, which recognizes the men's and women's basketball student athletes who embody the highest standards of leadership, integrity, and sportsmanship in conjunction with their academic and athletic achievements. This year's men's recipient is Jonathan Lee of Northeastern University, a senior from Flint, Michigan, who is majoring in graphic design. The Colonial Athletic Association congratulates Jonathan on this prestigious award. Halftime continues here in Richmond. First half stats and highlights are straight ahead.
As you would expect between two great rivals in their 85th meeting and the 10th time in a CAA tournament, it's a good halftime performance so far. William & Mary trailing James Madison by 34-33. Al Kochen, Ron Thompson back with you. Brent Harris joining us as well this evening. Take a look at our Geico stats, Ron, and as we see both sides doing pretty good work from behind the arc, but you really see what William & Mary has hung in there at the free throw line.
You want to do a little slightly better job defensively because both ball clubs right now are shooting around 50% from the floor, and that's far too high. Expect that number to come down. But when you look at the job that A.J. Davis, I think, has done, he's done an outstanding job in the first half.
We've seen William & Mary turn the ball over 8 times, and that is where James Madison has taken advantage, and particularly when you have a guy like Devon Moore, who has been flawless from the field in this first half.
Oh, he's done a great job, I think. He set the table. He's got 12 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, and no turnovers, and he's done it without pressing the issue. He scored the points when they needed him to score it. He's been the Robin to A.J. Davis's Batman. A.J. Davis has led the way, but Devon Moore has been really, really solid at picking his spots when to score.
Well, this senior does not want his college career to end this evening. And that 1-2 punch, we mentioned they are cousins. Both Davis and Moore come from Columbus, Ohio. Some of Matt Brady's early recruits, and they have been the offense for JMU. It's been spread out with the usual suspects for Tony Shaver's club. Brandon Britt with 12, Rusthoven and Thornton with 9 apiece. So we've seen the guys we have expected to see so far distribute the basketball and score it as well. A.J. Davis has been on fire the entire month of February, and he's got a good start to March as well. We'll be back with more halftime activities after this. Anything you want me to hit you with?
Just me a general question. What are your overall thoughts of the first half?
Okay. The popcorn is hot, and so has been the basketball. We're at halftime, where James Madison has a 1-point lead over William & Mary, the 4th time in the last 5 years these two teams have met here in the CAA tournament. Al Kochen back with Ron Thompson. Brent Harris will join us with a word from Tony Shaver in just a moment. But We've expected a good game. I think we're getting it. What have your impressions been so far?
Well, I think both teams have gotten what they've wanted offensively. Both teams have been very efficient. Both teams have shared the ball. Both teams have shot the ball really well, shooting over 50%. Expect that number, though, 50%, to come down a little bit here in the second half.
As expected, the usual suspects have been on display. Britt Thornton and Rust Overton for William and Mary have been the triumvirate that Tony Shaver has ridden hard in that first half.
Well, those two guys are the ones that get it done. You see Britt right there with the change of pace right there. The middle was like the party of the Red Sea. It opened up, and he took advantage of it. And then Thornton, he has a very quick release. He got on a roll. I thought he did a great job at getting William and Mary going when they were sputtering. And then Rust Overton, he's like the silent assassin. He's always there when you need him. And he's very efficient and a very astute passer. But on the other end, I thought these two guys, Moore as well as Davis, they carried the load offensively. Moore used his size and his passing ability to set the tempo, and then Davis used his raw scoring talent to get JMU going, especially right there to close the first half.
Well, needless to say, there has been a lot to shout about, and why not? These two rivals went at it in the first half. We've got the second half right around the corner on Comcast Sportsnet.
All right, guys, good news, bad news. Coach Shaver, it's a one-point game, but you look across to the other side, and Davis and Moore, 10-12. They've had a pretty big first half. What do you do to stop those two?
We've got to be better defensively. We really do. I mean, we scored the ball. It's been a great half of basketball, I think, but we're not good enough defensively to stop those two guys right now. And a lot of their baskets have come on turnovers. We have 8 turnovers at half, which we've got to minimize.
Any other adjustments you look to make here in the second half, Coach?
We may play a little bit more zone, may trap more a little bit more here second half.
All right, best of luck. Thank you, Coach. Send it back to you, Al.
An explosive first half of basketball captured by our great crew here in Richmond, Virginia. We're still at halftime, about to start the second half with Madison on top by 1. Brent Harris a moment ago caught up with the William and Mary head coach, Tony Shaver.
All right, guys, good news, bad news. Coach Shaver, it's a one-point game, but you look across to the other side, and Davis and Moore, 10-12. They've had a pretty big first half. What do you do to stop those two?
We've got to be better defensively. We really do. I mean, we scored the ball. It's been a great half of basketball, I think, but we're not good enough defensively to stop those two guys right now. And a lot of their baskets have come on turnovers. We have 8 turnovers at half, which we've got to minimize.
Any other adjustments you look to make here in the second half, Coach?
We may play a little bit more zone, may trap more a little bit more here second half.
All right, best of luck. Thank you, Coach. Send it back to you, Al.
Brett, we thank you very much. Brent, we thank you. And Tony Shaver, Matt Brady, all the coaches all year long who have cooperated throughout our entire season on Comcast Sportsnet Basketball. We can't thank them enough to make sure we get you all the information and inside looks and inside work. And those guys have been terrific all year long, Ron Thompson. Our cooperation with them has been sensational.
Oh, it's been great. You know, and I love the insight that we've gotten from these guys coming out of halftime, right before the half as well. And I thought that Coach Shaver made an interesting point. He said we haven't physically been strong enough to stop the onslaught of Moore as well as A.J. Davis so far this game, and he couldn't have made a better point. The size of those two guys have given William and Mary as much trouble as their ability.
Interesting look. That man right there to the right of your picture is Mike Dean, one of the assistant coaches. He was Matt Brady's head coach at Siena in Matt Brady's senior year. He had just taken over that program. We see what we've got here in terms of explosive scoring teams and William and Mary among the best. But Matt Brady talked about how last year when things were going so difficult with all the injuries that they ran into, that he found himself constantly calling up his former coach and saying, Coach this, Coach that, what about that? He said, I talked to him so much, I finally said, why don't you come out of retirement and join me? And it's been a great situation as you see Matt and Mike Dean on the JMU bench.
Yeah, Mike Dean's well respected in this business. He's been around for a while. He's one of those guys that you can always pick up the phone, even if you've got a question about, if you're another coach, if you got a question about some of the things he's doing, he always has the time to bounce different ideas off of you.
So here we go. There's Rayshawn Goins setting the screen. You see Devon Moore and his output so far, and right off the get-go, this is what JMU has been looking for, to get this man, Rayshawn Goins, going, and that is the way the second half begins.
Hopefully this goes a long way in terms of getting Rayshawn Goins' motor going. You know, they started the first half with this play for him. He wasn't able to convert it. This time he gets the and one, goes to the free throw line, and gets the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
Boy, could that help the cause for the Dukes if they can get a second half performance typical of what Rayshawn Goins has done almost the entire year. And now we see that pressure offense knocking things out of bounds. Again, the Dukes continue to trap the ball handler. This is Britt who will get it into Thornton. See what Brandon Britt did in that first half. Still not quite the first half you would expect from three-point range for a team that, as I mentioned, has averaged 10 three-pointers over their last 8 games. That is unbelievable production.
Oh, I mean, you credit them for running them off the three-point line and not letting them get on that kind of a roll. But both ball clubs, as we touched on, shot an incredibly high percentage in the first half, at 50%.
So Rusthoven's first attempt of the second half will not go. There was Goins again to work inside. They go to Diouf. Goins tries to keep it alive. He and Rusthoven battle, and Rusthoven comes up with the board. Again by Marcus Thornton as he and Andre Nation get tangled up there. It's 12 points now for Thornton. He has been the real constant there offensively, and that jumper is so devastating. Moore down the lane and scores. Devon Moore picking up his 14th point. Triple team that time was Rusthoven. So Gaylord, who was scoreless, gets something, and they're going to get Rusthoven on a push-off.
Great job, I thought, that time by Bill Covington. He was all over it. Rusthoven literally pushed the guy right before he went up for the rebound.
Take another look at it.
Take a look at 22 in green. You see 2 hands on his back, pushes off his nation, goes up for the rebound, and easy call to make.
Another great look that our crew has provided us. They have put in a long day of work here in Richmond, Virginia. We can't thank them enough. All the men and women who have joined us this evening at the Richmond Coliseum for 3 terrific basketball games. George Mason beating Drexel to advance. They'll play the number 1 seed Northeastern tomorrow. Earlier we saw Delaware hold off Hofstra, and they will await the winner of this game as Rusthoven rattles that home to make it a 1-point contest.
Good job by Rusthoven that time, Al. He was really patient in the post and put it on the floor 1 or 2 times until he saw the opening and he went into his jump hook.
Tim Rusthoven is now in double figures. He's got 11. They trap out on Devon Moore. Diouf comes to help. Moore, quick release again on that 3. Had Britt backing up and fires in another one. So Devon Moore, the redshirt senior, with 17 to lead all scorers. Something had to come out of that. There were 3 different white shirts around Tim Rusthoven, and finally the whistle blows, and it'll be a foul on A.J. Davis.
Take a look at it. Here, Rusthoven gets it on the interior, 3 JMU guys all around, and I don't know if that was a foul, but I tell you what, it was an ugly play.
I thought it was going to be against A.J. Davis. Apparently they're flagging Andre Nation, and if that is officially Nation's, that's going to be his 3rd personal foul.
Tim Rusthoven now has made all the difference in the world of William & Mary. Last year, he didn't play because of injury, and this year he's back in the fold. He's healthy, and what he does, he gives them that inside threat, but also he gives them another passer. And in this William & Mary offense, you can't have enough guys with ball handling skills that can set this offense up with their passing.
You know, doing the game last week where Matt Brady's club came back on William & Mary, working with John Feinstein, I looked up and I realized Tim Rusthoven was sitting there with 18 points. I said it was the quietest 18 points I can remember, but that's how he does it.
Yep, it's not a lot of flair. He gets to the free throw line. He'll make about 6 free throws a game and step out and hit a 3 and get a lot of little 2s around the basket. It just doesn't look pretty because he's on the floor with a guy like Thornton and a guy like a Brandon Britton. He's the guy that just quietly racks up his numbers.
Rusthoven finished with 20 points and 8 rebounds that night as Davis's first attempt of the half is short. Diouf working hard on the glass. We'll get some free throws out of it.
When you look at both of these ball clubs, or actually all of the guys, all the teams in this tournament, it's great to see the progression from early in the year to now. You see different teams that have improved in certain areas. And JMU, they've improved on their offensive efficiency, as you see, quick ball movement around the perimeter, making the extra pass. And earlier in the season, they would not have done that. The first guy that got the pass would have looked to go one-on-one. So this team has really grown as the season has progressed.
Rusthoven heading to the William & Mary bench after picking up his 2nd personal foul. That is 3 on the try. Diouf hitting his 2nd after missing the 1st. So this stays a very close game. JMU now up 2. Tarpey trying to get ahead of the pack, and Nation is flagged for the foul, and this could be his 4th. And he is a little upset, and Matt Brady's got to calm him down. Well, he let the wide receiver get behind him here, Ron Thompson.
And he looked like a DB, though, trying to cover ground, and he comes up right underneath him, and I think the official thought it was just a little bit too much contact with the body.
So we've got him unofficially for 4. And that could keep Andre Nation, who has been a really important freshman player for Matt Brady, out of this game for quite some time.
You're going to see a huge jump in Andre Nation's production from this year to next year. He's one of those players that next year you're going to be like, whoa, I didn't know he was that good.
A.J. Davis turns it and step on the sideline. So we will step aside. A.J. Davis after a strong first half, has yet to score here in the second, but his Dukes are up 3 over William and Mary.
Let me know when you go to the board. Welcome back to the Richmond Coliseum. 15:43 left here in the second half. James Madison, the 3 seed, with a 3-point lead right now over William and Mary. The Tribe, one of 5 schools that have never played or made the NCAA tournament. They have been close. Under Tony Shaver, they made the CAA championship game a couple of times. Back in 2008, they lost the championship game to George Mason. And then back in 2010, they lost to Old Dominion. Boy, they would love to break through and make their first NCAA big dance. Al, they got to get past the first game, and they're in a dogfight.
No question about it, Brent, but as Ron Thompson said right at the top of our first game between Hofstra and Delaware, this is as wide open a tournament as he could possibly see. So anybody's got a chance, and why not Terry Tarpey and the Tribe?
Good ball movement, good patience that time. Again, caught JMU staring at the ball, and the weak side man just cut back door for a wide open layup. We've seen that type of play happen at least 4 times today.
You know, Ron, to Brent's point, Tony Shaver's won 7 tourney games in his 9 years. Brent mentioned the 2 CAA championship games they've been in. They'd love to do it this year. Next year, they only really lose 1 key player, and that's Matt Rum. So they're kind of locked and loaded for a while now. Thornton, the scoop and finish, and William and Mary is in the lead.
I really thought that time